Welcome to Power Plug Radio, home of the throwback jams. I am your host, Stephanie A. Wynn. This is Jumpstart Your Business with Stephanie A. Wynn business segment, a business segment where I bring business tips for those who are in the startup phase or those who have started their business. So today is Saturday, January the 23rd. Can you believe it? Can you believe that we are almost finished with January? That is crazy. I want to welcome all of our Facebook listeners to the show this morning, all of our powerplugradio.com listeners that are listening out there. So during this power hour, we will cover business topics that will assist those who are seeking to start their business or for those who have already started their business, but they seem a little bit stuck. So this week topic, we're going to talk about having confidence, right? But before we get started, I always like to go over the weather. So the weather for today in St. Petersburg, Florida is 72 degrees and the low will be 62 degrees. So 72 is for me. I'll take 72 all day, every day until spring, right? Okay. So let's do a health check-in. Did you all have like a self-care day this week? So let me tell you about me. So for those that don't know, my name is Stephanie A. Wynn. I am an author. First, I am a Crohn's survivor. I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. And so this week, while I always make sure I have a self-care day, I had no choice but to lay down this week because my condition, Crohn's disease, it's some days, it does what it does. Some days it doesn't. So, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Hey, Crystal. Hey, David. Thank you all for tuning in. So, listen, I am here. I am alive. I'm fighting another fight. I'm fighting another day. And we are going to get right into it. And before we start, I like to start with the renewing of your mind. So starting a business can be exciting and scary at the same time. But before you start that business, you must start with the renewing of your mind, right? Got to start with the renewing of your mind. So this week, we're going to talk about having confidence. If you all can hear me out there on Facebook, type yes. I can hear you, or put a heart. So let's talk about having confidence. What is confidence? Like, do you not start the business because you feel like I just don't have enough confidence. I'm not confident in myself. Or if you have dreams or goals that you want to accomplish, you don't start it because there's a lack of confidence. So I want to talk about that. Do you struggle with having enough confidence? Or do you believe enough in yourself to pursue the business, but you don't do it because you just lack confidence? So let's talk about that. And if you want to join the show, you can call in at 727-686-0512 to tune in live and to join the show. We can, talk about this discussion. But again, let's talk about confidence. What is confidence? Confidence is a feeling of self-assurance arising from one's appreciation of one's own abilities or qualities. So, the one big word that stood out in the definition for this word, confidence, is self-assurance. You have to assure yourself that you can do this very thing that you want to do. Are you afraid? And a lot of people suffer with, or a lot of people lack confidence is because of fear. So what's keeping you from being confident? Let's talk about that. What's keeping you from being confident in what it is that you're doing? Let me tell you, I was afraid to speak in front of people. And today I'm here to tell you I'm still afraid. Not afraid, but I would say more. I'm a nervous wreck before I speak. Nervous. Like it's this whole gagging. Like I have anxiety bad, like bad, bad. Like yes, yes. So my business coach would tell me, like, Stephanie, like, you just got to get over that. Like, you got this. Like, once I'm on, I'm good. But it's just the thought of going into this platform and speaking about something that I'm passionate about, right? And some speakers, they're good. They can go and they can just speak off the fly. That's just, some people just have it different than others. But one thing I do know is, if I don't go and speak, then I will regret that I did not do it. So I'm simply saying that you got to do it. If you don't do it, do what it is you want to do as far as starting the business. Let's talk about the business. For those that have an idea, they want to start this business. And the reason why they haven't started the business is because they're not confident enough in thinking that they can be successful, or that they can even start the business. So what's keeping you from being confident in starting the business? Let's talk about that. Is it fear? I'm going to talk about fear, that word fear, which to me, I just think it is just such it's a negative word to me. Fear keeps a lot of people from getting ahead. Fear keeps people from doing what they were really truly created to do and be, right? So let's talk about fear. Fear is you're to be afraid of someone or something as likely to be dangerous, painful, or threatening. See all those negative words, descriptive words? Good morning, David. So that fear is just so negative. Like, you have this perfect opportunity. Someone wants to invest in your business. And because of fear, you won't follow through with some simple steps of providing them with your profit and loss statement. Oh, I'm scared they might, you shut it down before you can get the opportunity. And fear will cause you to do that, which will keep you from having the confidence to do this very thing you wanted to do. So how do you get rid of fear? You just got to go and do it. I'm not saying do nothing scared. I don't do anything scared. I'm not scared to do. I'm not performing scared. I'm not. And I'll give you an example of fear. So when I remember going to the gun range, right? This is the only way I can put fear in an example. And I do have another one, but this one here, I went to the gun range, and my friend was like, okay, Stephanie, I'm going to shoot your gun first, and then you shoot. And so I always go big or go home. In my mind, it's like, you got to go big or you got to go home, right? So as he's shooting the gun, in my mind, I'm having an anxiety attack. I couldn't move. I see him shooting, and all I see is fire coming out of this piece of metal. Like, he was like, oh my gosh, Stephanie, this is spot on. Like, this is good. He's hyped, but I'm not. I'm stuck. I can't move forward. He's talking to me, but it's like a blur, because I allowed for that very moment to be afraid of this very thing that I purchased, right? To protect me. And so I said, I can't do this. I'm having an anxiety attack. Something's wrong. Something's shutting down. So he's like, it's okay. It's okay to not be comfortable with this piece of material, right? This gun. So I say all of that to say, face your fear. Face your fear with confidence. Now, David said most people lose confidence because the fear of failure and don't know where the money will come from. True, David. And that's the next thing I'm going to say. fear. So you lack the confidence because of fear. That's one. And the other is it's the fear of failure. So what is failure? How do you know what failure is if you haven't even tried anything? Right? If you don't do it and do it with confidence, how will you know that it's going to fail? Like, you don't even know. You're simply saying, I got this book or this business, and it's just going. If you haven't tried that, I wouldn't sell no more than 200 books. I was told it's not going to work. I was told I was stupid for writing a book. But let me tell you something. Because I believe in my book. See, nobody can tell me about Ready, Set, Go, a simple guide to establishing a successful small business. Because I believe so much in my book that it scares me. I believe enough in my book that I know my book will start their business. I believe in that. But see, this was coming from people who had never written a business self-help book. So how can I take advice from somebody who's never written what I've written? They've written a book before, but it wasn't in my genre, right? So you have to be aware of the people who bring you the information, especially if it's not coming from a good place, right? So I'm going to go back to confidence. In order to build your confidence, you got to believe first in yourself. It starts from the inside. You could look to all these people. Now we're talking about worldly people here. You could look to all these people to try to give you confidence, to boost you up. But if you don't believe in yourself, how do you expect the people to have confidence to buy what you're selling? So the producer here, Chandra, has her urban drinkery, right? She believe in that. If you don't, she believe in her flavors. She's figured out what sells and what don't sell. But she believe in it. If you don't, that's where the confidence lies. When you believe in what it is, like your product or your service, like if you have a product and it's of value, the people will buy what you're selling. Good morning, Lisa. So if you know that your book or your brand or your business has value, but you lack a little bit of confidence with pushing and promoting it, listen, it's okay. Push it anyway. Just do it. That's the key to building confidence. You got to do it. Do you know my goal was to get my book in the Barnes & Noble and to go on a nationwide book tour? To go on a nationwide book tour? And I didn't know where these places were. I just sat at my table and I just knew that I wanted to go to these different cities to make an impact, to make a difference, to bring about the awareness of entrepreneurship, startups. Now, in the beginning, I thought, because I wasn't clear on my target audience, I will admit that, right? We all have started there. We're not clear on our target audience because we think everybody can use our product or service. But to really truly build that confidence, you want to get clear understanding of who your audience is. So what I had to do was niche down who my target audience was and go from there and build that confidence. For every Barnes & Noble that I would go and do a book signing, I would build my confidence because now I'm meeting different people. I'm getting in front of other authors who look like me and who have done the same thing. Does that make sense? So to build your confidence, if you lack confidence, in order to build that confidence, you got to just do it. Start the business. Start the business. Don't worry about failing. that shouldn't even be in your vocabulary as you're starting. Because if you're going to start anything, you need to know it's going to work. The key, let me tell you something. Entrepreneurship 101 is about starting over and going back to the drawing board. Starting over and going back to the drawing board. Rebranding and branding. Rebrand. Like, it's that all the time. You may have one logo this year. Next year, you may want to have a whole new face of your business. That's entrepreneurship 101. I mean, I'm just saying. So what's keeping you from being confident? Do you need a team of people to cheer you on? Let's talk about that. So if I came to you and said, hey, I want to invest, I always use this example. I want to invest $1 million in your business. But before I do that, I need to see if you have systems in place. What systems do you have in place so that I know that you're generating revenue on a consistent basis? What tools are you using? What technology systems? Like, I'm just saying, like, I just need to know these few things. Can you show me this? Good morning, Clifford. Good morning, Spike, Mike, Boogie, Lisa. So in all of our powerplugradio.com, our website listeners, thank you for tuning in. So let's talk about that. Like, do you have enough confidence to show me how you do business? Like, remember, confidence is a thing. It's a noun. It's like what you're going to put in action. Like, what are you going to do to move yourself to that next level? We hear that term all the time. Oh, I want to move my business, take my business to the next level. But before you take your business to the next level, remember, it's going to require 3 things from you. We know that you have to invest. We know these 2 things is definitely required, which is effort and time. So you have to put effort and time in the business. First things first. So to go to any level, you have to have a system in place. Meaning, how do your transactions, how do the people get the product from your business, from your company to the consumer? What's the behind the scenes? Do you have a CRM? Do you have workflows in place? Do you have what does the framework look like? Like, these are things that you want to have in place before growing or scaling your business. We hear that all the time. Well, I want to take my business to the next level. You can speak that, but having confidence will show you that you can do that. So confidence moves that. So if I say I want to impact 7 million people through my nonprofit, how am I going to do that? So that means that Stephanie A. Wynn has enough confidence to know that what her nonprofit provides to the community, it's going to be so impactful, and it's going to be global, not just domestic. It's a global thing, right? So I talked about confidence this week because a lot of my author friends who have businesses, they write a book and they publish a book, but they are afraid to, one, push the book because they don't think that they have enough confidence, or nobody really knows who I am. So I don't think I'll be able to sell enough books. And that's not the case. So you got to build that confidence up. You got to build that confidence. Good morning, Tweet. Thanks for tuning in. So for my author friends, when you publish your book and your book is ready to be sold to the world, you got to have the confidence to know that you're going to sell this book. And remember, your book can be on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, but if nobody knows that you are an author and that book exists, nobody's buying. That means you need brand awareness. Meaning you need to be exposed to the media. You need to be on social media. You need to be offline, online. You need to have your own platform, like your website. Like, you have to have confidence in knowing that this book is going to sell. I remember my first book signing. It was here in St. Pete. It was at the Iberian Rooster. That was my first. Shout out to Mighty Jai. Listen, let me tell you something. I couldn't believe how those books was selling off that table that night. Like, I sold 300 books, 300 copies in one night. I didn't think it was a lot. I wasn't paying attention, but it was 300. I had 300 sales that night. So you have to leverage your friends. I think what we paid for, we reserved VIP area, whatever, but it was well worth it because now you're networking. So I use that as a networking opportunity. Not everybody is going to promote you or support you. And you got to be all right with that. They're not going to celebrate you either. You got to be okay with that. So in order to build your confidence, you have to be honest with yourself. You have to know yourself enough. You have to believe enough in yourself that you can do this very thing, which is starting a business. And even if nobody knows who you are, let's go back to price pointing your business. Like, because a lot of my friends who are business owners and a lot of my author friends who have books, they'll underprice their book. If the book is of value, they want to sell their book for cheap just to get a book sale, right? But if what you're doing is of value and you shortchange yourself, so the product is cheaper, than that sends up a red flag. So when you're price pointing your products and your services, listen, believe enough in your product and service, and you know for a fact that when they get this book or they purchase this service, that they're going to be transformed in some kind of way. They're going to be better than they were when they first came to your business, right? They're going to be better than they were when they purchased your book. You got to believe that it's of value, that it's of value to your audience. And it doesn't matter if nobody knows who you are. You're the expert. If you believe in yourself and your business, they know that you're the expert. Get testimonials from clients who have used your services or bought your product. You're the expert. Listen, I believe in Stephanie A. Wynn. The reason why I believe in Stephanie A. Wynn is because I have confidence. I've built the confidence. I'm not saying this because that I've never had a lack of confidence, because I have. I was afraid. I had fear in me. I had fear. I'm not going to lie to you. But as I got older and mature in life, like, you have to remove those negative terms in your vocabulary. Failure and fear. I will tell you this. I'm going to say this. We know that if you don't start the business, if you don't start the business, that's the unknown. If you don't start, nothing gets done. But if you start, you can't have regrets and say that nothing happened. So we're going to take a little 5-minute break and come back. So if you all want to join the conversation, you can dial in 727-686-0512. We'll be back. We are back. We are back. Thank you for tuning in to the Power Plug Radio, the Jumpstart Your Business with Stephanie A. Wynn. I am your host. Welcome back. And we are talking about y'all have to excuse me, my Facebook listeners. I have a hat on today. It's bad hair day. So I need a haircut. Shout out to Ian Peterson for providing the hat. This is a golf hat, y'all. So so listen, so let's talk about if you lack confidence, right? So when you're trying to build your confidence, we were talking about before the break, how to build your confidence, just do. Remember, the key to entrepreneurship 101 is it's starting over, going back to the drawing board, starting over. But to do that, with doing all of that, guess what? We're building confidence. We're building confidence in the business, right? We're building confidence to know that, okay, the marketing plan didn't work in the beginning. So I'm going to go back to the drawing board and figure this thing out. So remember, we all know if you don't start the business, where that will lead you, right? You won't start. And then you'll see other people moving and developing, and you'll be afraid to push forward. So if you don't believe in yourself, your audience will notice that. So if you don't believe enough in yourself, of what you're selling, of what you're doing, your audience can tell. That's like when I was getting really ill with this Crohn's condition. I call it a condition because it's only temporary, right? When I was getting really ill, there was no way I can go and perform and speak to people ill, because they can tell there's something wrong with Stephanie. She's really lost a lot of weight. She has circles under her eyes. Like, I was ill. And you can't be anything to your audience ill. I do want to ask this question before we close out. If you have a business and if you were to get ill, meaning you can't work in the business or on the business, can your business function? This is something that we as entrepreneurs, we have to ask that question. Will my business continue to flourish and move forward? If you say no, you need a system. And by that I mean you need to have a team of people who, if you are ill or you need to take a step back from the business just temporarily, you can continue to move your business along. Your business will not halt. So for those who have e-commerce stores, people place orders. You need to fulfill these orders. Can you fulfill those orders, right, without you being there? Or do you need to have a team to ensure that these orders are going to be fulfilled? That's all about confidence too, having the confidence to know that, okay, I need a system in place. I have the confidence to know that if I need to take a step back from my business, that it will continue to run. I'm just saying. So let's talk about the 3 business tips takeaway for this week. You guys ready? The first tip we're going to talk about is I want you to follow through with your plan. This is having confidence business tip takeaways. These are the 3 takeaways. Number 1, follow through with your plan. What do I mean by that? Write the plan. You've already written a plan. So now it's time to work it. Like, it's time to just work the plan. Number 2, don't worry about what others say. Don't worry about what others say. You can't worry about what others say, because if you worry about what they say, you'll never get anything done. And half of the time when people are like they don't do it directly, but they indirectly self-sabotage your idea or your plan. Look around to make sure that they even have a plan, or they even been in business, or have they tried to start a business? Are they doing anything? 99.9% of the time, they probably aren't doing nothing. Those are the ones that are the naysayers. Stay clear from them. Don't worry about what others say. Don't worry about what others say. And number three, get things done. Hold yourself accountable. Well, how do I do that, Stephanie? Well, you got to hold yourself accountable. Remember that time and effort, you got to put in time and effort. How are you going to hold yourself accountable? Get your accountability partner or accountability coach. Invest in yourself. A lot of us don't get things done because we procrastinate. Procrastination is so bad. Listen, you will miss out on the opportunity because you procrastinate. Every week, when I leave the radio show, I go ahead and create my notes for the following week. I don't even wait. Why? Something could happen between now and next Saturday. Why not get it out the way? Right? I'm just saying. So 1, follow through with your plan. 2, don't worry about what others say. 3, get things done. Hold yourself accountable. We need to start holding ourselves accountable. It's a new year. We're in the first quarter of the new year. We're in the first month of the new year. If you want to start the business, start the business. If you want to write the book, write the book. But whatever you do not give up. Does that make sense? I want to give a shout out to our Facebook listeners who are listening live. Shout out to Clifford Young, Tweet, Lisa, Spike Mike, David, Crystal. Hey, Crystal. Shout out to everybody who's listening online on Facebook, Power Plug Radio Live, Facebook, and then our website, powerplugradio.com. Thank you for tuning in. Listen, our goal is to only bring you tips each week regarding starting your business. So let's talk about this closing. You guys know I love talking about the ships. That is my deal. Like, I love these ships. So, in entrepreneurship, we have ships, right? So at some point on your entrepreneurship journey, you will encounter some type of ship. Friendships, relationships, partnerships, entrepreneurship, companionships. Whatever ship you choose, make sure that your ship is free from holes, that it is solid. What do I mean by free from holes? I mean that you should have a team of people who believes in your business more than you, that if there is a hole in your ship, that they will fill that hole when you're not available to. Again, your team is so solid that if there's a hole, they will fill that hole. Because if you have someone on your team that does not believe in your dream, your vision, your passion, your purpose, the ship is going to sink. I'm just saying. You're going to have a lot of holes, and you're going to be rushing, and you're going to be freaking out trying to fill these holes. So you want people on your ship that will help keep the boat afloat. Thank you for tuning in to the Jumpstart Your Business with Stephanie A. Wynn. Be sure to tune in every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Power Plug Radio is the home of the Throwback Jams. Also, you can follow Stephanie A. Wynn on all social media platforms. Stephanie A. Wynn on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. Download the Power Plug Radio app in Google Play. You can listen live on Facebook, Amazon Alexa, Power Plug, play Power Plug Radio. Alexa, play Power Plug Radio. And you can call in to join the conversation at 727-686-0512. Again, thank you all for tuning in this Saturday. I hope you all got some really good tips. And remember, whatever you do, do not give up. Talk to you all next week. Bye.